हरे कृष्ण। मम ज्ञातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणि विचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So for love to develop, we need to know about the person. Love always begins with the name of the beloved. Without name, is dead. So for time immemorial, all the spiritual traditions, people chant the name of Lord. The wise knows this as the only way to spiritualize their consciousness and enter the bliss of love contained within God's names. While recognizing the name of God, many spiritual traditions they deny him any form or image. Uh, the founders of these religions, they are feared that worshipping a specific form of God would reduce him to the level of a limited phenomena. That's why they say, no, he does not have a form. If God has name, then he must be a form contained within the name. And that form must be spiritual as God's name also. Because God's name is spiritual, he should also be spiritual. That is all. Now, love, which is devoid of the image of Lord, is actually it just as unthinkable. It is love devoid of beloved. Beloved's name is not there. So there are two things that are needed: love and beauty. They are inseparable. When you love somebody, you will be attracted to the beauty of that person. You will see the beauty. So sincere service to Lord's name displays the fog of the that is covering our consciousness and that reveals the Lord. This is what is our understanding. So the transcendental image. Now, when Vidra is going to the pilgrimages, he's going to he's seeing different forms of the Lord. That means it's not just name, the form is also very important. The transcendental image to us disclosing his divine beauty. But it does not happen immediately. We will not be able to see the beauty. Of course, Ramanacharya could show this to Dhanurdas. He could immediately make him see the beautiful form of Ranganath. But for us, when we keep on chanting, when the fog of that obscures our consciousness is removed, then we will be able to see. Now, what do we do with our heart, which is not yet sufficiently purified to contemplate God's transcendental beauty? And our attempt to focus our consciousness on the sound of the holy name, and uh, even that is also imperfect because we are affected by so many material things around. So how do we tear our eyes away from the beauty of this world that is distracting us even to focus also? So this is for us, we need to, the one who desires, Bhagavatam says, one who desires to quickly cut the knot of false ego which binds the spirit soul should worship the supreme Lord by a regulation found in Vedic literature such as tantras. This is given in Bhagavatam. So Tantra Shastra explains that for the benefit of all living entity, according to their level of consciousness, the Supreme Lord, he manifested in 5 different forms: Para, Vyuha, Vaibhava, and then Antaryami, and then Archa Vigraha. So here, this form where Vidra is worshipping is Archa Vigraha, is going to different holy places. So Para is Krishna himself from the spiritual world, and Vyuha is the Chaturvyuha forms. Vaibhava is the various avatars, and then there is Antaryama is Paramatma, and Archa Vigraha is the deity form. The Lord's mercy, he is given in this world in this form. And Vaishnavas are not afraid of worshipping the Archaviga, though it appears to be made of matter. No, it is not actually matter, it is directly spiritual. They know that their desire to serve will induce God to appear in this form. It will make this deity into a spiritual form. That's why. And now we have to chant, that is the only formula. And at the end of life, how much we have controlled our mind is the only biggest enemy which is not controlled for us. And the way to control mind is chanting the holy name. If somebody is successful, peacefully able to chant, we can consider he has perfected his life. Perfection is quite simple for us. The definition of our perfection is, if you are able to peacefully sit and without any distraction, you are able to chant whole day, you have perfected life. Nothing else is needed for us. Not that how many temples we build or how many we have externally success. Success is how much we have controlled our mind. Now, like every part of the body, there is meditation and all. So when Kunti Maharani is praying, Namah Pankajanabhaya, Namah Pankajamalini, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre, she is comparing Lord's different parts with lotus, Pankaja. Pankaja means born from mud, because a lotus goes from the mud. Despite that, it remains a symbol of purity. So similarly, the Archa Vigraha, which is made of wood, stone, metal, has nothing to do with matter. It is actually personification of unearthly beauty of God. Even though it is coming from matter, but it is personification of beauty which is now beyond this matter. So Kinti is also uses the Lord has lotus smile, because the flowers, they grow in water, but it is not wetted, especially lotus. And Krishna descends in this world but remains transcendental. He is not affected by it. His transcendental form is not some material idol. And according to proper form, we are supposed to begin meditating on Lord's form. The forms which are made in temple, it should be made according to Shastra. We cannot make our own form. And Pankajanabhaya is Lord's navel is lotus. So now there is poetry often carries layers of meanings. That's why we need commentaries of acharyas. They take it and they peel the layers. They show us different shades, the meaning. Otherwise, we miss the mm, we will miss the real understanding. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he gives explanations, and all the acharyas, they are giving explanations so that we understand. So Pankaj Nabhaya means lotus growing from his navel. So all the 14 planetary systems, they rest in the stem. And Bhumandala, if you see, it's like a lotus. And the highest planetary system is Satyaloka, where Brahma is residing. So this is the original, because this is like Bhaktisiddhanta explains that within Archa Vigraha, the super soul Antaryama dwells, which is in turn is a manifestation of Vibhava, that is Avatara of the Lord. And this Leela Avatara emanates from the Vyuhas, Chaturvyuha, which emanates from Vasudeva, the transcendental Lord, who is expansion of Swayam Rupa Tattva, which is the original form of Krishna. Therefore, by worshipping Archa Vigraha, the aspiring devotees gets the opportunity to connect directly with the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. So what is telling from Archa Vigraha is having within Archa Vigraha is super soul, then there is Avatara, and which is coming from Chaturvyuha, which is coming from Vasudeva, who is from directly. So here we need to understand, when we are worshipping any Vigraha, the deity of the Lord, we are directly worshipping Krishna only. and any form. And Srila Prabhupada writes that when a person comes to temple, looks at the deities decorated with lotus flowers, catches the gaze of Lord's lotus eyes, and immerse into tranquil atmosphere of temple, his agitated and feverish mind cools down. This is actually what happens. The mind, basically, I was telling, our success is how much we are able to control and focus our mind. If we are able to help our mind focus and control, not get agitated, that is success. Our minds are constantly frozen of passion and material desires and emotions of stress, sorrow, resentment, fear, insecurity, and all these things. So such mind can never immerse in meditation or a sense of God's presence. So that's why we need to work on it. So going to temple regularly is very helpful. If you are want to more, if you stay in temple, that is best. So it is said, Shastras also tell us how the lotus flower, like moonlight camphor and sandalwood paste, possess an amazing ability to cool the heat. So, upon seeing a lotus, the mind spontaneously calms down and focuses. So, the true meditation is only possible in a serene mind. If it is mind is very cool, it is which is uninflamed by sorrows and material desires. The fever within us is subdued by itself as soon as we see the Lord's huge lotus eyes like that. Now, this is what we should develop. We should develop love for the Lord, love at first sight. Many devotees they come to Vrindavan when they see Radha Shyam Sundar, they immediately fall in love. So Parikshit Maharaj also had this. In the womb only he saw Krishna's transcendental form and immediately fell. So once their eyes are fixed on the transcendental form of Lord, then it is said that the women are unable to withdraw when they saw the Krishna's form, which is so beautiful, which is so soothing to the heart. And and great poets and all, they describe the beauty of Lord, and their words are invested with transcendental, pleasing attraction, all these things. Now, by being a direct manifestation of Krishna, deity in the temple can have the same effect on human consciousness. And we have many such stories. So I was telling about Dhanurdas. So he was Ramanujacharya, he just said, okay, I'll show you. And he took him. And there is one more story of Taj Khan. So he was in Karoli, and one day the one day the what is it, the mullah, whatever the person above in charge, he told you go and give this letter to Madan Mohan Pujari. So Taj Khan we went to give the letter and he gives and he was waiting for him. So Taj Khan stood at the temple door and he could not enter because Muslims are forbidden to enter. But out of curiosity, he looked inside the grills. He wanted to just see what is there inside. And as soon as he saw Madan Mohan deity, it seems that he was looking straight at him and he could not give up that beautiful form of Madan Mohan. All the curses against the idolatries in the Quran instantly vanished from his head because they say it's all it is kafir or you should not worship all these deities. So all these curses against the idolatries that got disappeared from him, and immediately a great wave of unknown happiness flooded his heart, and he just stood gazing at Madan Mohan. And Madan Mohan was also looking at him. And the Taj Khan, he woke to the reality and then he said, oh, and the Mahant, he tapped him and said, what do you want? I say, okay, this letter, get lost from here. So he left. But now he became like a drunken man. He used to, but every pretest he used to go again and again to the temple and used to take darshan. So in the evening, actually that day evening, he straightly goes to the mosque and offers his prayers. But wherever he is looking, he is just getting the gaze of Madan Mohan only. He could not, his eyes are just absorbed in the lotus eyes of Madan Mohan. And no matter how hard he tried, he could not forget only that look of Madan Mohan. So again, he every opportunity is running to the temple and secretly stealing the glance. And Madan Mohan is also very tricky. He also tried to show his beautiful face. And then slowly, he abandoned his Quran, his daily prayers, and his Muslim brothers. They turned away from him. They said, "This fellow, he became apostolate." And then, while the pujaris, they were also becoming suspicious. They understood his tricks. Array, this fellow is again and again coming to the temple. But Taj Khanna, he could not do anything. He was, when he was warned not to come, then he started crying in separation. And he composed poetry and he was contemplating on the deity's image within his heart. So he writes actually many poems. Oh, how many hearts yearn for thee. So he says that unworthed by hunger, thirst, or sleep, Madan Mohan, show me yourself to me. So such nice poem. He says each moment without your sight appears like an age to me. Your sidelong glance thrilled my heart. Cast your glance but once at me. Listen, son of Nanda, with a moon-like face. Taj, your servant stands begging by your gate for your sight and your grace. So they are the poems composed by, I'm translating in English. He composed it in local language. So Madan Mohan answers his prayers, but now it was not the says not the right time, not the right. So he goes to Vrindavan later on, and he becomes a great devotee. So this the point is the deities are directly Lord Himself, and we need to and we may ask the question why it is not happening to me. Why I am seeing the deity is not showing his original form to me. Because passion and sorrow remains in my heart even now after seeing the deity. Though I am trying to serve the Lord's form, the answer is we should bear in mind that the main uh, purpose in all these things is the stories is Krishna's causeless mercy. So in our life also, it may not manifest instantly as it manifested in Dhanurda's case or Taj Khan's case. But there is no doubt that a sincere service to the deities will gradually help us purify our heart and help us feel God's presence. And then there is a tangible participation of Lord in our heart in our life like that. So this is one important understanding because here Vidura is visiting all the places of pilgrimage and it is said that there are also many other temples of various forms of supreme personality of Godhead Vishnu established with great sages and demigods. These temples were marked by the chief emblem of Lord and they remain reminded one always of the original personality of Godhead Lord Krishna. So this is how Vidura was saying. And he said, thereafter, he passed through very wealthy provinces like Surat, Su, Sauvira, and Matsya. Saurata, Sauvira, Matsya, and through western India, known as Kurujangala. At last, he reached the bank of Yamuna. There he happened to meet Uddhava, the great devotee of the Lord. Purport. The tract of land comprising about 100 square miles from modern Delhi to Mathura district in Uttar Pradesh, includes a portion of Gurugram district in eastern Punjab, is considered to be the topmost place of pilgrimage in all of India. This land is sacred because Lord Krishna traveled through it many times from very beginning of his appearance. He was at Mathura in the house of his maternal uncle Kamsa, and he was reared by his foster father Maharaj Nanda at Vrindavan. There are still many devotees of Lord lingering there in ecstasy in search of Krishna and his childhood associates, the gopis. It is not that such devotee meet Krishna face to face in the track of land, but a devotee is eagerly searching after Krishna is as good as seeing him personally. How this is so cannot be explained, but it is factually realized by those who are pure devotee of Lord. So Prabhupada stayed in Vrindavan, so he knows his. Philosophically, one can understand that Lord Krishna and his remembrance are one on the absolute plane, and that the very idea of searching for him at Vrindavan in pure God consciousness gives more pleasure to the devotees than seeing him face to face. Such devotees of Lord see him face to face at every moment, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochani. Then he says, then due to his great love of and feeling, Vidura embraced him, Uddhava, who was a constant companion of Lord Krishna and formerly a great student of Brihaspati's. Vidura then asked him for news of the family of Lord Krishna, the personality of God. Vidura was older than Uddhava, like a father, and therefore, when the two met, Uddhava bowed down to before Vidura, and Vidura embraced him because Uddhava was younger, just like a son. Vidura's brother Pandu was Lord Krishna's uncle, and Uddhava was a cousin of Lord Krishna. According to social custom, therefore, Vidura was to be respected by Uddhava on the level of his father. Uddhava was a great scholar in logic, and he was known to be son or disciple of Brihaspati, the greatly learned priest and spiritual master of the demigods. Vidura asked Uddhava about the welfare of his relatives, although he already knew that they were no longer in the world. This inquiry appears to be very curious, but Srila Jiva Goswami says that the news was shocking to Vidura, who therefore inquired again due to great curiosity. Thus, his inquiry was psychological, not practical. So, this is nice commentary by Jiva Goswami. The inquiry is what happened? You already know now. Why are you asking? Because he is in emotional state, he is asking it. Vidura already know that Vidura heard that they left, but he wanted to ask because he met first time his relative after long who are connected to these families. That's why he's again wanted to know what is happening there. Please tell me whether the original personality of God who incarnated themselves at the request of Brahma, who is born out of the lotus flower from the Lord, and who has increased the prosperity of world by elevating everyone, are doing well in the house of Surasena. So this is Lord's purpose of appearance. And he asks, please tell me whether the best friend of the Kurus, our brother-in-law Vasudev, is doing well. He is well munificent, very munificent. He is like the father to his sisters, and he is always pleasing to the wives. So Lord Krishna's father was there 16 wives, and one of them named Paurabhi or Rohini, the mother of Baldev, was the sister of Vidura. Rohini, sister of Vidura. Vasudeva therefore was the husband of Vidura's sister, and thus they were brother-in-laws. Vasudeva's sister Kunti was the wife of Pandu, Vidura's elder brother. In that sense, also Vasudeva was brother-in-law of Vidura. Kunti was younger than Vasudeva, and it was the duty of elder brother to treat younger sisters as daughters. Whenever anything was needed by Kunti, it was munificently delivered by Vasudeva due to his great love for his younger sister. Vasudeva never dissatisfied his wives, and at the same time he supplied the objects desired by his sister. He had special attention for Kunti because she became a widow at an early age. While inquiring about Vasudeva's welfare, Vidura remembered all about him and his family relationships. So this is so Vidura is so closely connected to Krishna because Vidura's Rohini's son Balram is that means Vidura is uncle of Balram. That's why they're very good. Uddhava, how is Pradyumna, the commander in chief of Edu, who was skipped in the former life? Rukmani bore him as her son from Lord Krishna by the grace of Brahmana, whom she pleased. So this is he asked about for Krishna and Balram, then Vasudeva, then Pradyumna. And then he's asking, my friend, tell me whether Ugrasen, the king of Shatvatas, Vrishnis, Bhojas, and Dasharhas, is now doing well. He went far away from his kingdom, leaving aside all hopes of his royal throne. But Lord Krishna again installed him. O gentle one, does Samba fare well? He exactly resembles his father, the personality of Godhead. In a previous birth, he was born as Kartika in the womb of wife of Lord Shiva. Now he is born in the womb of Jambavati, the most enriched wife of Krishna. So now we'll see the connections. Lord Shiva, one of the three qualitative incarnations of personality of God, is the previous expansions of Lord. Kartikeya, born of him, is on the level of Pradyumna, another son of Lord Krishna. When Lord Sri Krishna descends into this material world, all his plenary portions also appear with him to exhibit different functions of the Lord. Except for the pastimes at Vrindavan, all functions are performed by Lord's different plenary expansions. Vasudeva is a plenary expansion of Narayana. When the Lord appears as Vasudeva before Devaki and Vasudeva, he appears in his capacity as Narayana. Similarly, all the demigods of heavenly kingdom appear as associates of Lord in the form of Pradyumna, Samba, Uddhava, etc. It is learned here that Kamdev appeared as Pradyumna, Kartikeya, Samba, and one of the Vasus as Uddhava. All of them served in their different capacity in order to enrich the pastness of. So, very important point here is actually these personalities, Pradyumna, Samba, and Uddhava, they are eternal also. They are in the spiritual world. So, when they appear here, the expansions of Kamadev and this uh, Kartikeya and Samba. So they are also entering into these bodies. So both personalities are there in that. The eternal associate is also there, and the demigod personified. Like say Pradyumna, original Pradyumna is also there, and Kamadev is also there, and Samba is also there, and Kartikeya is also there, and Vasu is also there. Uddhava is there. The two people are there in the same personality. Oh, Uddhava, does Yudhana fare well? He learned the intricacies of military art from Arjun. So Yudhana is also called Satyaki. So when Kurukshetra battle ends, from the Kaurava side, Kritavarma, Ashwatthama, and Kripacharya, three survive. And Pandava side, six people. Five Pandavas and Yudhana, or he is also called Satyaki. So Satyaki, what happens is he was supposed to fight on behalf of Kauravas because all the army was Kauravas side and only Krishna is on the Pandava side. But what happens is uh, before the war starts, there will be announcement made. The Yudhishthir makes an announcement. So you all know the purpose of my fight. You know my cause and you know Duryodhana's cause. If anybody want to change the teams, now also you are ready. So Yudhana was waiting for this announcement. As soon as the announcement, he jumps here. He comes to the side of Pandavas. He said, "Okay, now I'm changing." So this is how because he studied the military from art from Arjuna. That's why he wanted to be with Arjuna and serve him, and in that way he fights. very powerful, valiant warrior, and attain the transcendental destination, which is very difficult to reach even for great renouncers. But the destination of transcendent is to become the personal associate of the personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshaja, he who is beyond the reach of senses. The renouncers of the world, the sannyasis, give up all worldly connections, namely family, wife, children, friends, home, wealth, everything, to attain the transcendental bliss of Brahman happiness. At Adokshaja, happiness is beyond Brahman happiness. The empiric philosophers enjoy a transcendental quality of bliss by philosophical speculation on supreme truth, but beyond this pleasure is the pleasure enjoyed by Brahman in his eternal form of personality of Godhead. Brahman bliss is enjoyed by living entities after liberation from material bondage. But Parabrahma, the personality of Godhead, enjoys eternally a bliss of his own potency, which is called Ladini potency. The empiric philosopher who studies Brahman by negation of external feature has not yet learned the quality of Ladini potency of Brahman. So this is Sandhini, Samvit, and Ladini. Three potencies are there of the Lord. So here it is said the internal potency is, however, easily really realized by the devotees of the Lord by dint of devotional service. Udana achieved this stage of life just as he achieved expert knowledge in military science from Arjuna. Thus, his life was successful to the fullest extent on both the material and spiritual angles of vision. That is the way of devotional service to the Lord. And now he's asking about Akrura. Please tell me whether Akrura, the son of Sopalika, is doing well. All these people left, nobody is there. Only Uddhava survives. All the Yadu Vamsha, nobody remains. Everybody is gone. Only Uddhava is there. But Vidura is again asking all these names. His faultless soul surrendered unto the personality of Godhead. He once lost his mental equilibrium due to his ecstasy of transcendental love and fell down on the dust of the road, which was marked with the footprints of Lord Krishna. So Akrura goes to bring Krishna. So, and he falls in ecstasy. This ecstasy is possible for a devotee who is fully absorbed in instant thoughts of Krishna. Such a pure devotee of Lord is naturally faultless because he is always associated with the supremely pure personality of God. Constant thought of the Lord is the antiseptic method for keeping oneself free from the infections of contamination of the material qualities. The pure devotee of Lord is always in company of Lord by thinking of Him. That in the particular context of time and place, the transcendental emotions take a different turn, and this breaks the mental equilibrium of devotee. Lord Chaitanya displayed the typical example of transcendental ecstasy, as we can understand from the life of this incarnation of God. And now he's asking, as the Vedas are the reservoir of sacrificial purpose, so the daughter of King Devaka Bhoja conceived the supreme personality of Godhead in her womb, as did the mother of the demigods. Is she, Devaki, doing well? So, Prabhupada is writing, the Vedas are full of transcendental knowledge, spiritual wealth, and thus Devaki, the mother of Lord Krishna, conceived the Lord in her womb as the personified meaning of Vedas. There is no difference between Vedas and Lord. The Vedas aim at the understanding of Lord, and Lord is the Vedas personified. Devaki is compared to the meaningful Vedas and the Lord to their purpose personified. He asked about Devaki, and here is asking about Aniruddha. May I inquire whether Aniruddha is doing well? If you want to know these mantras, if you want to pray to any of these personalities, these are the mantras for them. If you want to pray to Aniruddha, this is the mantra for Aniruddha. If you want to pray to Devaki, this verse 33 is the mantra for Devaki. You can pray for her. So these are the prayers which is offered by, this is how Vidra remembered them. So their remembrance is actually mantras for us. That is how we can also remember and pray to them. And they'll be very pleased if you chant that mantra for them. Yesterday, may I inquire whether Aniruddha is doing well? He is a fulfiller of all desires of pure devotees, and he and has been considered from yore to be the cause of the Rig Veda, the creator of mind, and the fourth plenary expansion of Vishnu. So this is the prayer for Aniruddha. So it is said that all this is nice. In Markandeya Puran, in the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Aniruddha appears as a grandson of Lord. Lord Krishna in Dwarka is a Vasudev expansion in original group. The original Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. All the present expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, no difference. O sober one, others such as Hidika, Charudeshna, Gada, and son of Satyabhama, who accept Lord Krishna as the soul of the self and thus follow his path without deviation, are they doing well? So, yes, Mataji, you can ask the question now. You had some question.
Uh, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, remember a few minutes ago you were talking about um, the devotees, the pure devotees, preferring basically preferring separation over meeting Krishna or something to that effect. Remember saying something like that? Like
Uh,
they'd rather just I don't know, think of Krishna than actually, running after Krishna in their mind rather than actually meeting him. Something like that. Do you remember?
Prabhupada says that it is not different.
But I don't know. I wish I could remember the exact
Pure
words.
devotee of Lord is always in the company of Lord by thinking of Him.
Yeah. But it's like they even prefer the pure devotees, they even prefer to actually they there's the separation is even more value than the meeting, something like this. But
It helps. What happens is uh, for them it intensifies their emotions for the Lord. That's why they feel it's not that they want to be away from the Lord, but
uh-huh.
that separation helps them to become more closer to Lord. It intensifies their love for the Lord. Again,
Mm-hmm.
separation meeting is there, but separation will always help to increase their pleasure in meetings. That's why there is meeting and separation always in the pastimes of Lord in Vrindavan.
Yeah, because in that separation, you actually think of the Lord more, right?
Yeah. Even that's what Krishna was in Brihad Bhagavatamrita when Krishna is at Dwaraka, Narada Muni comes and everybody they say, "What Krishna you are doing here? Go to Vrindavan. All the people are almost dying in separation from you." And Krishna says, "Are even if I go there also, they will always be in that same separation mode only. That actually gives them bliss. That mood of separation is actually what is making them more intensely think of Krishna and feel that ecstasy. So Krishna says, even if I go also, it does not make any difference. They are going to be feeling the same separation because that is their intense love is exhibited like that.
But if he goes to Vrindavan, how will they?
Then also they are always in that separation only. They'll always feel now Krishna may go anytime. So there that separation is always experienced by them. Even Krishna stays in Vrindavan also, they experience that separation.
In the form of the fear of his leaving.
Uh, and then they feel ecstasy in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, many times we see in airports or railway stations when the child they drop for they go for the colleges and all. There are so much emotions we can see. They are always there at home, but when they are leaving, they feel the great emotions. Tears started coming from their mother's eyes, and so then when you feel that that person is living, you feel more love for him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Prabhu. Okay. Thank you.
Question. Uh, yeah, Banasur Pradyumna, that comes in the 10th canto. We are in second canto only. So then he is asking about, yes, Maharaj Yudhishthir. Now he asked about Satyabhama and Charudeshna Gadand as well. And now he comes. So this chapter, let's just see. Okay, then tomorrow we can complete the remaining chapter. We'll end here. Thank you all very much. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.